Have you ever noticed that when everything in your life starts changing all at once, you begin looking for signs? A small moment feels symbolic. Coincidences feel heavier. You begin connecting dots and thinking, this must mean something. That instinct, the urge to find meaning in uncertainty, is deeply, profoundly human. And it has a name. It's called patternicity. The term was coined by a science historian and writer, Michael Shermer, who used it to describe our brain's tendencies to perceive meaning and patterns, even when events are completely random. It's why we see faces and shapes in clouds based on our mood of the day, or why during an exam, in a moment of uncertainty, we think to ourselves, I've chosen option A way too many times. The next one has to be option C. Why we knock on wood or wear our lucky outfit to our job interviews. It's a survival instinct, really. For early humans, assuming that a rustling sound in the bush meant danger could only lead to a false alarm. But assuming that it was nothing could cost them everything. So we evolved to connect dots. Sometimes, way too many dots. And here's what I find fascinating. We don't look for these patterns and signs when life is stable and calm. We look for them when something shifts, when something breaks, when something hurts. Let's try something together. Think back to a time when you were going through a big change in your life. Maybe you were moving cities or countries, choosing a career path or a major, letting go of a person or a habit that once defined you. Now, ask yourself, did you look for signs? Something to perhaps nudge you in the right direction or the right decision? Did conversations feel symbolic? Small moments, did they feel meaningful? Maybe your car broke down on the way to the airport. Maybe 4 different people said the exact same thing to you in 1 week. Maybe you kept seeing the same number everywhere. Here's what's interesting. If you see it, if you feel it, that's patternicity in action. I noticed this most clearly during a period of deep uncertainty in my own life, when nothing felt settled and every decision felt heavier than it should have. I began connecting dots everywhere. Conversations felt symbolic. One person after the other would say something that would keep echoing in my mind way after the conversation had already ended. Delays felt intentional, as if the universe was begging me to slow down. Even traffic lights seemed meaningful. 3 red lights in a row, and I thought, that's a sign for me to change my path? Maybe I'm going to make the wrong decision. And once he realized this, once he realized that I'm wired to see meaning in randomness, I began to think, maybe it was clarity. Like Robert Frost wrote, 2 roads diverged in a wood, and I took the one less traveled by, and that has made all the difference. But now, looking back, I realize it wasn't clarity at all. I wasn't receiving signs, I was creating them because I needed to feel certain. I wasn't just reacting to change, I was trying to understand it while still living inside it. People would tell me, you're reading too much into it, or you're overthinking, and maybe I was. But now that I realize that my brain is wired to see meaning in randomness, a new question emerges. Will I do it differently next time? The next job search, the next relationship, the next time standing at a crossroads, will I find myself reading horoscopes? Counting repeating numbers? Believing that a stranger's offhand comment was actually meant for me? And here's the philosophical dilemma. Once you're aware of patternicity, once you're aware that your brain has the tendency to find meaning in randomness, does anything change? If you know you're looking for patterns, are you still looking for them? Or are you just observing yourself looking for them? So, in a changing world, patternicity becomes both our compass and our trap. If we look at the wider picture, at a wider lens, we see that social norms shift, technologies evolve, ideas, identities, communities, they all transform. Information moves faster than reflection. New change arrives before we've even processed the last one. Sometimes the world changes around us. Sometimes we change within it. Slowly, quietly, almost unnoticed. It's like an algorithm that keeps learning your preferences. The more data it sees, the more patterns it generates. Except this time, your brain is the algorithm, and it never stops running. Maybe, and this is what keeps me up at night, maybe patternicity can only be seen in retrospect, when the decision has already been made and you're looking at the past to see yourself when you were standing at that fork in the road. Now, when we look at patternicity, we see that as it can become both our compass and our trap. We don't actually have this change inside us. We see it around us. Now, if we see the change that's about to come, we can prepare ourselves. We can ask ourselves this question. We can challenge the perspectives. We can challenge the perspectives that make us uncomfortable. What else am I not seeing? What else does this mean? What pattern am I deliberately ignoring because it challenges the story that I've already committed to? We can seek out perspectives that make us uncomfortable. The voices that tell a different story than the one we want to hear. In a world of constant change, we see it around us. The question isn't whether we see patterns. We always will. The question is, which patterns help us grow, and which ones do we cling to just to feel certain? And a better question, what do we do with the awareness that we're wired to see meaning in randomness? Maybe wisdom isn't about finding the perfect explanation. Maybe it's about staying curious long enough to let deeper understanding emerge. Thank you.